The rubber band was invented in England in the middle of the 19th century. The key to its success, of course, is flexibility. A rubber band can be stretched around items of various shapes and sizes to hold them together. So in the rubber band industry, the possibilities for expansion are numerous. Rubber bands come in handy for a whole bunch of things, whether it's acting as a binding, a snack food, or a weapon. Production of rubber bands starts with natural rubber, made from the sap of rubber trees. Natural rubber has more elasticity than the synthetic kind, which doesn't matter because synthetic rubber is cheaper, so it will always be used in production. A worker pours rubber processing oil into a kneader machine because it's so damn needy. He adds mustard and sugar for taste, while Kyle in the background looks for his lost surfboard. He forgets to unwrap the rubber's packaging as he feeds several pounds of it into the kneader machine. The rubber is, of course, naturally elastic and bounces around like an unruly 7-year-old. This process generates heat, which both softens the rubber and explains why there was a random shirtless man in the previous shot. The kneader spits out giant dough chunks. The rubber is now depressing to look at, so it's thrown into a smoothing machine until it transforms into a much more optimistic shape. This process is purely done to reduce suicide rates among rubber factory workers. Then, the rubber is rolled into big twisty tubes, entirely undoing the previous rolling processes. This may seem bizarre, but rubber is actually manufactured in reverse, as demonstrated here, with the rubber being retrofitted back into the previously mentioned rubber trees. Next, these aluminum poles have arrived from a nearby factory and require a rubber coating before being sent out to distribution. This is because the poles are smart and know when it comes to the market to always wrap it before they tap it. As for the white powder, don't ask. The tubes are loaded into a torpedo bay both for overnight curing and to protect the factory in case of thieves. Workers peel the rubber off the poles and then give them a milk bath to infuse them with calcium. Without calcium, the rubber would be too brittle for daily use, since calcium helps build strong bones. The tubes are fed into a cutting machine and oh, looks like one of those aluminum poles from earlier had a pretty good night. With this system, the factory can produce 500,000 rubber bands per hour, and yet still somehow can't manage to bring my wife back to me. After inspection, all that's left is the credits, which signify the end of the episode and are my cue to stop talking.